My fault over here. My fault.
We're in your face live.
Again, welcome everybody to the show. We're very excited because we got an awesome lineup. We got some great news to talk about. And we have an awesome headline topic. Tonight, we're going to be talking about men. You gotta slow your roll. Yeah. And we're going to talk about that. But first, we got to talk about the news that we're covering tonight. Remy, you're kind of off the cameras. Come, scoot over a little bit. Listen.
It's your camera
It
off.
is. I know. Get out of the way, cat. Scram. So, Mari, nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while.
Hey, Devin. Hi, Tamar.
Hey, Mari, if you have a chance, go watch Jimmy Tiller's interview. He gives a shout out to you. You rocked his world, changed his perspective, and as a result, he's in a relationship with another trans woman. So good for you, girl. Hey, Devin, what's up?
Hey.
She has awesome news, too. Oh, she had an awesome laptop manifestation.
Boom.
Boom. Want to share that still? Share it later on, okay? All right, so, actually, why don't we just share it now? Go ahead and type your comment. Tell us what happened.
What's up?
Tell us what happened. We'll catch up. We'll catch up while we're doing this. While we're doing the news. Hey, Tamar, welcome to the show. Everybody, all you soon-to-be deliberate manifestors, welcome to the show. Did you get?
I finally got a new one. Hey, I love you.
Short,
and sweet.
What kind did you get? Did you get a Mac or did you get an IBM or PC?
Did it fall into your magical little lap?
After my last one was stolen. Oh. Rhymes with swollen, like something I've got. Never mind. Okay. Ooh, there's the screenshot right there. All right. Aspire. Got it.
It did.
Yeah.
See, that's my girl.
I just got to acknowledge, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming on to the show. It's only been like 2 minutes since we've been on, and we have a lot of people on the show. This is very good.
It's a great start.
Yeah, very
Thanks,
good start.
Guys.
Okay, so Remy doesn't know.
Hi, baby. Welcome.
Hey, Jonathan. Welcome, man. So Remy doesn't know what I'm about to share. We've got.
You keep talking about how I'm off screen,
I know,
and then
right?
you keep turning the phone.
I know. So
Calm down. Sit
I
down
am
now.
excited.
Take a deep breath.
I'm excited. Oh, money pod me home. Okay.
That's right.
You guys. I hope you guys are excited about the news I'm about to share, because I'm freaking excited. Some of you may not be excited, but here's the news. Remy doesn't know about this yet.
Don't you love it? Have you noticed how often, like weekly, that happens?
Craigslist is no longer in the business of doing personals.
Woo! I'm sorry, I gotta say, I'm actually down for it.
Down like in a good way?
Down that I'm happy that it's now
Me
the
too.
way it is.
Me too.
Down for it, living for it.
So all those closeted mofos who try to lurk and ruin trans women's lives.
And for all those trans women putting their own lives into shabby places and disrepair.
I couldn't have said that. It's better that Remy said that. So you no longer have a place to go and be shaded. You know.
I mean, it was fine for what it was at
that's
the
what I
time,
thought.
but you know. Again, we're in a place now where we can look back at where we were during that time and how it wasn't really a positive thing. It helped us to manifest. I mean, it helped us become the people that we are today.
True.
Right? Anyone who played on that. But now there's less negative options for you to make negative choices.
Absolutely right.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely right. And so for those of you, let's do a quick poll using the like and the heart function. So those of you who are watching, if you are happy that Craigslist is no longer doing personals, hit the love button.
Yeah, and I mean, that's understandable.
Well, that's the challenge, right?
Well, it's Backpage, too. Isn't it not just Craigslist, but isn't it Backpage as well?
I don't even know what Backpage is.
It's
Oh, here comes some lovin'.
I see Devin's little face in those pictures.
Okay.
Tamar.
So for those of you who would have preferred, this isn't anonymous. So those of you who would have preferred Craigslist stay up, hit the like button, not the love button.
It's a mixed thing.
It's a mixed thing. Got it.
Understandable to theirs,
Totally.
too.
That's the way I feel, too. Yeah. So the reason why Craigslist went down is because, now, not all of Craigslist, just the personal sections, which is casual encounters, men seeking women seeking men, T for M, all that stuff. The reason why they went down is because Congress, I just love this. Congress recently passed a law that...
Hey, Kevin. Welcome.
Hey, Kevin. That allows the Justice Department to go after entities that, whether directly or indirectly, support sex trafficking. And so apparently there's been enough evidence that Craigslist was one of the venues through which sex traffickers were exploiting human beings.
Mm-hmm. And I believe Backpage, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you guys know better than I do, but I believe Backpage as well. Backpage is a place where people could put up ads for solicitation of their services.
Oh, thank you. I did not know. Was that an online
yes.
thing? Oh, interesting. Eros.com is another that I used to troll on a long time ago. Beautiful trans women on there, though. Great place to get pictures. And
troll being the operative word. Not to say that you weren't the only one trolling.
I know, that's true.
Everyone doing it is trolling on some degree.
That's true. What we need to do, Mari, for sex workers is provide them a venue through which they can legally do their business.
Right, and I completely agree with Mari. We are not shaming sex workers in any way, shape, or form. But right, the unfortunate sex trafficking that does occur with people who are not doing it by their own choice as a consenting adult.
Yes.
Right. And two, then it's also just the people who aren't sex working, but who are just hooking up and, looking for love in all the
wrong places.
Looking for nub in all the wrong places.
That's right. That's right. Because Craigslist...
that's what it is.
it's facilitated hookups for two parties whose stories matched, but out of those matchups typically has come... more negative feelings than positive feelings about the prospect of being with someone long term. In fact, only a few people that I know actually successfully hooked up on Craigslist, one of which is V and Jimmy.
Yeah, and I mean, it's absolutely possible, and it has happened in the past that was, and for many of us trans women and trans attracted men, it was one of the only places we knew we could go to meet people that we were looking for, right? If you're a trans-attracted man, you're looking for a trans person looking for someone who will accept you as a trans person.
Yep.
Of course, it was shrouded in all its darkness and ugliness and all the other issues that it comes with.
Yep.
But it was one of the only places at its time where you could even go.
That's correct.
Where else did you meet people?
You could try the gay bars or something like that. Yeah, you could try
the gay bars.
Yeah.
But then again, you're not necessarily getting exactly what you want, quote unquote.
That's a good point. That's right. That's right. So, RIP Craigslist Personals. We're not shaming the people who got on there. Although I will say, the good news coming out, there's lots of good news coming out of this.
Yes, Mari, I agree as well.
We need traditional dating websites to update themselves. Well, yeah. So, that's true. We believe, of course, Mari, that there is no better place to meet your ideal partner than in your everyday life.
Right.
Where it happens spontaneously and it's lovely and it's easy and it doesn't cost you any money. So that's our perspective on meeting your ideal partner. And if you follow the work that we share here, it's very easy to follow to meet your ideal partner, and you meet your ideal partner when you're ideal.
Right.
Otherwise,
once you've done the work.
Yes. Otherwise, you're a mismatch. You're never going to meet your ideal partner until you do the work and become ideal yourself. And so that's why we're advocating for
less dating sites in general for everybody.
Thank you, Remy. Less dating sites in general for everyone. Because in reality,
hi, baby.
In reality, the dating sites are not here to help you find a match. That's not their purpose. They're here to make money. And the more you fail at making a match, the more money they make. They don't make money when you find a match. You get off of their website. They're in the business of keeping you unmatched, not matched. Just so you know.
I hear a story underlying in that sigh there, Miss Mari.
Oh, yeah, there's a story there, Mari.
Love you, girl.
There you go. There you go.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Kendall, thanks for the agreement. Awesome. Okay, so let's continue with the news. So Craigslist is down and out. I know you guys are getting tired of this. I'm so sorry, but it just keeps coming up in the news, so we got to keep covering it. And what I'm talking about is the transgender ban tweet from Donald Trump. And the most recent news...
Recent updates on it is what it is.
The most recent news, the Department of Defense, as you know from last week, if you watched the show, came out with their policy basically banning all transgender people from the military. And the judges who are reviewing this case are refusing to honor this new version of the ban. But what's happened very recently is 3 major medical, I guess I can say, because they're all kind of medical associations have come out and said, basically, Trump, your policy's bullshit. You've totally ignored the evidence that shows that what you're saying is not accurate. And those agencies are the American Medical Association, the American Psychiatric Association, and the American Psychiatry Association. Mm-hmm. So those are the 3 largest medical associations that treat anybody for medical.
Are you going to share the articles?
Oh yeah, I guess I should. Huh? Thank you. So yeah, we're gonna post those right now. So you can read for yourself that. Actually, I think I shared this one already.
Well, we've got 2, which I think is hilarious. They're the exact same topic.
Yes.
But written from the 2 different sides.
Absolutely.
So one is, one of Trump's official people, right, and his backing on the topic. That there's actually no real medical evidence or scientific evidence to back up that hormone therapy and the like can help with gender dysphoria.
Yes.
Then the other article he's going to share says the exact opposite.
Yes.
And it's written by people from the American Doctors Association, physicians, and the psychiatrists and whatever. And so they're saying there's nothing but evidence that with treatment, there's so much more help and so much healthier people get.
Correct.
Right? It's a mental problem that in many cases is healed or fixed or helped by things like hormone replacement therapy and
the
surgeries and mental health counseling and the like.
The exact treatments that the Department of Defense's study is saying don't help.
Right.
And would cost too much for the government to implement in the military, interestingly enough. Yeah, exactly. So very interesting.
Feel about that.
Yes. So very interesting developments in the Trump tweet. Let's take some comments.
We would love to interview someone in the military if you know somebody.
Yeah, that would be good, actually.
Holla. Send them our way.
You know, Shannon was in the military.
Yes, she was.
Okay.
But someone currently would be...
That would be excellent.
Absolutely.
Yes. So thank you for that comment, whoever made that.
That was Mari.
Mari, thank you very much. If you know somebody, send her or him our way. So, in the good news, the good news that we wanted to share, first off, the U.S. courts grant rights to transgender people in Puerto Rico. There was a law, apparently, that...
There was a law on Puerto Rican governmental books that basically made it illegal.
Yes.
For transgender people to have rights.
Correct.
And so now they're saying that that's unconstitutional. And as an American colony, property,
territory.
These are my people.
Right? Exactly. Are they okay with that, being a territory of the U.S.?
It's still debate, but now more than ever, people are still trying to get statehood.
Yeah. It's interesting. But, I have to say, though, if they weren't a U.S. territory, the judges would not have been able to weigh in and slash this law.
Absolutely.
So it's a good thing. In this case, it's a good thing they're a territory.
Well, right.
Yeah. Okay, so I just posted that one. And then...
but if they were considered a state, it would be...
It would be automatic.
Right, there wouldn't be the difference.
You're right.
You'd be
good
full
point.
American law, not...
Touché.
Because, there's Puerto Rican government.
Yeah.
Because if you live on the island, you can't vote for president.
Oh, that's right.
But if you live here in the States, on the mainland, you can.
That's right. So it's give and take. Give and take. All right, so... Remy is reading... Okay, more good news. Wow, this is just really good news, actually. You guys probably know that in Alaska, they had tried to pass a bathroom bill, and we found out last week, that proposition was soundly defeated. Yes! Uppercut! Left jab!
I want to read what it said here.
Throw down.
In a truly historic election, Anchorage voters refused to succumb to hate and bigotry by rejecting the discriminatory anti-transgendered ballot measure, said the HRC president, Chad Griffin.
Nice.
Community leaders, businesses, faith leaders, and public officials all spoke out in support of equality. Together, we sent a powerful message that Anchorage is a welcoming and inclusive city for all, including transgendered people.
Boom.
HRC was proud to work on the ground along with Anchorage's brave transgender community and the Fair Anchorage campaign to expose the opposition's shameful fear-mongering and defeat this discriminatory proposition. Round of applause.
Round of applause for everybody. So that one was already posted on the website, but I'm going to go ahead and post it in the comments in case you want to read that one. So lots of good news happening all over the place. As you can see, I love that we focus on positive stuff because the momentum of positivity that's coming out of this country in support of the transgender community is just overwhelming.
And it continues to grow. If you'll just look at it.
That's exactly right.
Again, it's all about your perspective and what you choose to look at, right? You can look at those twists and turns. You know, you could look at, Puerto Rico didn't have it on the books already. Well, no, they didn't. But they do now.
Exactly.
Right? So it's all about how you look at it.
Exactly.
It's really
I know
warm
you're really
in here.
warm. You're really hot.
The energies.
Okay.
It is. I'm glad I opened the window.
We're very excited. And then,
Which one of your crazy articles are you going to put up there next?
We're going to save the best for last. So for those of you that are sticking out with us, we've got a great conversation coming. But this next one is more interesting news. Oh, why didn't it? There it goes. More interesting news, and that is, so y'all know that Target recently said basically that they're going to honor their employees, their transgender employees, by allowing transgender people to use the bathroom that they identify with. Yes. And about a year ago, I think.
Weren't they one of the companies that was like the opposite? They were like, hell no, we won't go.
Well, what happened was they started to go with the transgender supporting measure, and then people threatened to boycott them, so they stopped, and then they said, fuck that shit.
They punked out.
But then they said, fuck that shit, and went forward.
Right on time.
Yes. And so now,
I'm still, I work for TJ Maxx Corporation, the TJX Corporation, and they have always been in support.
Oh.
Since as far as I've worked there, and since this whole thing has been in the news and the bathroom thing has been a thing, which I still fucking can't believe.
That's crazy.
Has always been in support of not only our employees, but customers.
Well, yes.
We let people use the restroom that they, and dressing room that they identify with.
Yes.
With no questions asked.
So last week, a very famous religious person went on a rampage because a drunk male walked into, what he did was he walked into the women's restroom, pushed this girl out of a urinal stall, not a urinal because y'all don't have them there, but a pee-pee stall, pushed her out, and then used the bathroom, and then walked out of the bathroom. And it turns out that it's
not okay for anybody to do.
Yeah, even if a woman walked in there and pushed some woman out who's using the bathroom, that wouldn't be okay, right?
No.
But what? So this
their wig snatched,
their weave snatched out. So what this article is talking about is this phenomenon where people are up in arms about Target's policy, and as a result, there's this one organization that apparently is deliberately sending men into women's bathrooms in Target in order to raise ruckus.
To prove the threat against wives and daughters.
Now, this is really interesting.
Who's making the threat? Who's making the problem? Who?
This is really interesting. What Remy's saying is really interesting because here's the thing, you guys. Why isn't the church and the people who are against Target going after the men who are doing this stupid shit?
Instead of supporting them.
Yes.
Because that's what they're doing.
Yes. It's
they're encouraging it.
Who is it? How did you say it? Who is it that's threatening women and
our wives and daughters?
Our wives and daughters.
They phrased it.
It's these crazy ass men. So it's not transgender people. It's not transgender people that these Christians are afraid of. It's men that they're afraid of. Straight men that they're afraid of. And so it's like, then why are you...
do not belong in a women's bathroom.
Anyway.
Period.
Yes. And so it's just interesting. It's interesting
that men
this...
identify as men. They should be in the boys' room.
That's exactly right. There's no reason for them to be in the women's restroom. A transgender person who identifies as a woman, on the other hand.
Right? Kristen says, and hey, Kristen, welcome. Glad you were able to join us. I saw you join in, but Kristen says it's about shaming women. Don't get me started. Devin. Right, Remy? I wish a drunk asshole would. I'm saying, get your ass mopped up in this bathroom.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Kristen, I would really like to hear how is it that this issue is about shaming women? How is that the case? So give us a comment when you can, and we'll get back to you. So it's interesting. It's interesting that there aren't enough, let me just call them regular men, who are going into bathrooms on their own and fondling little girls and exposing themselves to women. This organization has to manufacture men to go and do this shit as an attempt.
Which has absolutely nothing to do with the trans community.
I was going to say that, Remy.
All.
The trans people...
has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. None.
The trans people that are going to use the women's restroom are, let's say it together, women. Why on earth would they be going into the bathroom and exposing themselves? That's just unless they're using the bathroom, they have to take their pants off to use the bathroom. But in the women's restrooms, correct me if I'm wrong, I've never been in one. Isn't every toilet surrounded by a stall?
Yes.
Okay, so when you go into the bathroom, the only one you're exposing yourself to is yourself.
Right.
I don't understand their fears and concerns.
Troy says manufactured fear.
Yes.
Mari says, if I went into the men's restroom, those men would be so confused. Right?
Right.
Tamar joins in with that and says, I got tits and ass. I ain't going into a men's room. That would be definition of unsafe.
Exactly.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
Stupid.
Devin says, and also makes this whack job organization look bad. I hope they send a dude in there and a trans woman lays. Yeah, exactly.
That would be awesome.
It would be awesome.
And makes front page news.
Exactly.
National front page news.
Maybe he'll walk into a bathroom and that MMA fighter, that transgender MMA fighter will be in there.
Yes, or that Thai kickboxing chick.
Yeah. Knock you out, motherfucker. Okay. We're almost done with the news. And thank goodness, because we're getting out of control up in here. The last bit of news. So, I'm just so excited about this story. So, y'all, I don't know if y'all are covering like developments of the future, but there's this industry. There's this industry in the U.S. and the Far East where these companies are making life-size dolls. And
they're not just life-size dolls. It's not my buddy and my kid's sister. Okay.
They're making them for one purpose and one purpose only, so that men can get their sexual satisfaction. That's right. These dolls are being manufactured with authentic vaginas and penises and oral and anal cavities, so that men can have their way without having to engage with the drama of a woman. Now,
choose your words wisely, brah.
Now,
it's not like men bring drama, right?
Well, exactly. That's exactly right. I'm not saying that men don't bring drama. But if it was significant drama, then...
Devin says their penises have a warming feature.
Exactly.
As I'm sure any other orifice has.
Exactly. So here's the thing. If men were bringing so much drama, these industries would be making dolls for women. Now, here's the interesting thing.
I'm sure they still do.
Well, hang on. So the manufacturers do make dolls for... They do make male dolls with penises. But... when you look at the male dolls, they're fashioned after gay men. They look like gay men dolls. So who do you think's gonna buy a woman's not gonna buy some gay man looking doll?
That's not necessarily true.
You should. Oh, that is that.
A lot of women are attracted to gay men.
Oh,
just saying.
Okay.
It's true.
So. But here's why...
Pulsating action. Troy, stop yourself.
So this is really interesting, Troy. You'll find this fascinating. So there's this transgender organization on Instagram. You can look it up yourself, called Trans Art for All. And they did a little expose about this industry. And what they did was, let me post this Vice article on the internet.
Devin says the Vice documentary on this said that most of their customers were women.
That's interesting.
They do make them for women. They also make a foot with a vagina on. Oh my.
Oh my word. So they're getting.
What the fuck is that gay men looking doll?
You gotta go. So go on to Trans Art for All on Instagram and look for yourself. So here's what happened. Let me explain this because this is very interesting. This little field test that Trans Art for All did. So this group of trans women who produced memes on Instagram recruited a male in the UK who was willing to test drive one of these dolls. So I didn't know this, but you can rent one of these dolls. The company will see. I know. Well, the vaginas and the orifices are interchangeable, so they can take the one you used out and put a new one in.
Refurbished pussy?
Yes, refurbished pussy.
Wow, I'm so done right now. Each to their own.
Each to their own. So no judgment. Check this out, you guys. This is fascinating. Now,
each to their own.
This is fascinating. You're gonna flip when you hear this story. So this guy in the UK, so you can test drive these dolls, and if you like it, you can buy it, and if not, you can send it back. So this guy ordered one of these dolls to test, and he went into this test thinking that he was not going to enjoy the experience. He was expecting it to be this lifeless piece of plastic that was going to be totally not realistic. When he put together this doll, he said he immediately got an erection because the doll feels so freaking lifelike. He said that the fat distribution and the way it jiggled was just like a real woman. And you could position this doll in the ways that a woman could be positioned, a real woman could be positioned. And he said one of the things that he really liked about the experience was often when he's having sex with a woman, they'll get into this perfect position and then the woman will move. But with this doll, that doesn't happen. So you could put this doll in the perfect position you want and it won't move. And so you can go to town.
And it'll continue to be just about you.
Well, that's right. Well, so here's the thing. I'm not arguing for the doll. I'm just telling you what happened in the field test. So the guy tested all the orifices, the ass, the vagina, and the mouth, and he said that the experience was so lifelike to him.
That's true, girl. Maybe that was a thought I was just having.
It was so lifelike to him that he is willing to buy one. That's how realistic it was to him. He could not tell the difference between the real thing and this thing, literally thing. So then here's what happened. He was so inspired by this experience that he went and talked to 3 transgender friends of his who work in the sex industry. And he told them his experience and suggested that they might want to buy a doll for their business. And guess what? Of the 3 women he told, 2 of them bought dolls because they see the potential of having the doll participate as a value add in their offerings. Isn't that interesting?
I'm going to do as Mari suggested and try not to kink shame.
Don't kink shame.
I'm going to say each to their own.
Each to their own.
But I also feel slightly disturbed on some levels about some of this. The being able to put it in a position and she's not going to move because it's all about you also makes me think of date rape and drugging somebody. Then now they're not able to move and that you can do what you want to do. Like, that's where my mind goes. And so Mari's comment of these dolls are saving women from men like that.
Yes,
and maybe
exactly.
Maybe that baby?
Exactly.
Yay?
Yeah, exactly.
I guess I have very mixed feelings about this whole thing.
I get it. So, it is mixed feelings. And
I mean, there's so many people in the world. Why cut yourself off even more from people?
Because let me advocate. Because some men have terrible experiences with women.
But did it cook him breakfast? Tamar. Sorry.
Don't you get it's not about the breakfast.
Apparently not.
It's not about the breakfast. And besides, how many... Okay, don't get me going there. Let's get back to what I was saying. Some men are of a type that cannot get a woman.
That's just what you guys were saying. No social skills.
Yes, no social skills. Some men are hideous. Some men go to prostitutes because they're so not attractive to other women that they just can't get them.
They're just not attractive to the people they're trying to be attractive to.
Correct.
I don't know. I'm one of those. There's someone for everyone out there.
I am too. But I can see, you guys, how not being able to satisfy a sexual urge could cause a man who is not developmentally mature to lash out at a real woman out of their frustration, and so this could solve that.
I see, right, and I can see that, and I can see that this could be beneficial, but at the same time, you've got this $1,000, $6,000, $600 sex doll, or a $40 pill, or whatever.
I get
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
I do. Like, there's the convenience of it. Like, there's the... Unless this becomes really well known, like those guys, most people aren't going to even know that that's an option, and so they're still going to go the dark route with it.
I think that's going to change as these become more successful.
Devin says, real talk though, I feel if I had one of those, I would create a story about I can't get a man. I have to be with a fuck doll.
That's a good point.
And I think
that's a really good point.
I think my mind goes there too, like that. This is where these people, again, if they have no social skills, they're not going to gain any.
If you
read the article, there's one of the guys in China married his doll.
That's right.
So, I mean...
I totally get that line of thinking.
I
totally get it. But here's the thing, you guys.
I don't know.
And all of you on the show watching right now who are live, not the people who will watch it later, all of you can attest to the following statement. You will not change unless you want to change. Unless the pain of not changing is so great, or the opportunity existing in a change is so great that inspires you to change. So these men who have no social skills, unless something remarkable happens, they're not going to change.
True.
And the momentum of their negative stories is just going to keep them going in the other way and turn them into what? MGTOWs.
And other
organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And so I understand in fact, I'll tell you one other thing that this guy who did this test in the UK said. He said, and I do not advocate what I'm about to say, but I want to share because this is an honest experience he had. He said one of the things he enjoyed about his interaction with this doll was he was able to say things that he would not feel comfortable saying in the act of sex with this doll. He would not feel comfortable saying the things he was saying to the woman, to a real woman, and the trans women that he was interacting with during the test prompted him, said, "Well, what kind of things were you saying?"
Right.
And it was the kind of things that I'm sure all of you can imagine. Do I need to say them? Say them?
You might, because
okay, then I'll say them. So he was saying,
how bad are we talking about?
Yeah, he was saying things like, "Take it, bitch, you fucker! I'm gonna fuck the shit out of you. Get it." Give it to you. That kind of stuff. Stuff that might not be conducive to a relationship unless you agree to that sort of sex play.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And so there's an opportunity here for men to have an outlet that they do not feel comfortable having otherwise, and causes some sexual repression, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's another thing that's interesting relative to this audience, some people in this audience, is they also manufacture female dolls upon which you can add a penis.
Mm-hmm.
So a trans-attracted man could, I'm on thin ice here, so bear with me. A trans-attracted man could explore, sexually anyway, his fantasies without acting out those fantasies in a derogatory or dehumanizing way on a real human being.
Theoretically.
Theoretically. Yes. Yeah.
See, Mari says it's not a type, it's a cultural phenomenon. Cishet men are not socially conditioned to be vulnerable, empathetic human beings.
That's right.
Toxic masculinity is real.
Yes.
Devin says, at the end of the day, it's just a sex toy. And you're right, but...
Who said that?
Devin. But who's just, like, how many of them are literally just going to leave this humanoid-looking thing as just, right? When does it cross that line of, now I'm married
Well, see, this
is sex doll.
Well, this is interesting. Who said that? Who made that? Devin, this is really interesting because where the technology is going is they want to create a doll that interacts and that responds, and that, like, for example, they already have a penis attachment where when the man fondles the doll in certain places, the penis will go from flaccid to erect. So they're trying to get to the point where you can have as authentic as you can human experience with this doll. And at that point, the question is valid. It's like when there's this crossover point. And it's interesting because...
I mean, if you're dressing her up and leaving her on the couch and, like, spending all of your spare time with her, it's not just a sex doll.
Well,
it's not just it's not a dildo in your bottom drawer.
That's exactly right.
You know, your pocket pussy anymore. It's you are breathing life into this.
That's
thing.
Exactly right.
It's now a thought form.
And see here, what Remy just said is key, because here's what happens. At some point, you reach this point where you begin to have an ethical dilemma, and that is, are you creating a thought form and restricting that thought form to sexual slavery? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where my thoughts go.
It's kind of like the dystopian perspective that some science fiction writers talk about, where you have these robots that have consciousness because you've imbued with them so much AI but they're restricted only to this experience of being the recipient of a man's penis, basically, for their entire life.
Right.
So it's just an interesting set of dilemmas that come up as a result.
See, Tamar says, I had none as a male. I couldn't talk to a woman. Perhaps I didn't really want to. I don't know. It's funny watching poor guys go through the same, though. Kristen says, you folks are making me grateful, yet again, that my two guys are happy to please me as I am them. They prefer that I move around, ... a lot.
Is that what she said?
Yes. Devin says, they got to learn to love themselves, right?
Yep.
It's just a Friday night girl. So Mari says, some women like that kind of sex talk. You just have to be honest, straightforward, and ask. See, that's what I was thinking.
I agree.
I'm like, what are we talking about here? Like, what is he gonna say? You know, like, if it's done in the right way,
it could be arousing.
It's absolutely
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Just all depends on the situation.
Yeah, and again, this goes back...
Dinner, damn it. Shut up, Troy.
I know.
Now I draw the line. That is the path to the robot apocalypse.
Well, this is right, because then the robots get upset and then they want to kill all us motherfuckers. So this is interesting because...
I'd rather slavery happen to a doll than a human being.
That's a really good point. But so here's the thing, though. At the level of stories...
But is any slavery even a psychological, you're imposing slavery onto even a thing? Is that even okay?
Well, that's the question.
Now
right?
There's that, I mean, you're continuing momentum upon slavery. The concept of it.
That's correct. That's correct.
And if it's a thought form in all except breath, it's almost a living thing.
Eventually, it becomes so artificially intelligent that you can't tell the difference. And at that point, I think you do have a dilemma. I think you do. So at the level of stories, what's interesting is these men who want, and this isn't judging, but these men who want these dolls have a story that's so profound about women that they have to resort to an artificial person in order to satisfy their natural desires for women. It's interesting. That's how far that we can go as a species, where we disconnect ourselves so much from our creative potential that we end up creating in the opposite direction instead of creating the beautiful relationships with each other that Remy was talking about at the beginning of the show. So very, very interesting.
It's definitely an interesting, I don't know. I feel obviously very mixed about all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting.
I mean, again, like a sex toy, I'm totally okay with the whole sex toy concept. But I guess for me personally, I think we're just taking it too fucking far.
Yeah.
We are just taking it too far. And maybe it's because I'm old enough to remember rotary phones and shit, but we're all taking it all too fucking far.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I know. Okay. So let's get to the main event. The headliner for tonight is Men, You've Got to Slow Your Roll. And
That's right. Slow your roll.
Speaking of. Wow. It's so interesting how our shows just kind of roll right into one another, don't they?
What's the rotary phone? Please tell me you're joking,
Who
Mari.
is that? Mari, come on, girl. You've seen him in the movies.
I'm gonna call her Eve. You've seen him in the movies. I'm done. It's all right. I don't know if Kendall's still watching, but she's like, yeah, I've seen those before, but I don't know how to use one. Because there was this meme on Facebook, or this video on Facebook of this grandmother filming her granddaughter, like, pushing the buttons on the rotary phone, trying to figure out. She's like, it's a phone.
Oh.
And I mean, okay, and someone else made a comment like, okay, you're shaming her for not knowing. You should be teaching her. Okay, yeah, that's true. But it was funny as hell.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I mean? Just to see that cultural difference and that, like, I don't know. I guess there's that level of common sense, which I say it over and over. Common sense isn't common.
That's exactly right.
It's a phone. You still, I mean, even it's a phone. You pick it up, and even if you don't, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either.
I don't know. It just made me feel old.
Okay, to our headline. So, men, you got to slow your roll. So, this is coming right from the show we did last week, and it's very interesting. So, last week and the week before, we talked about listening to your impulses and following your impulses to all of your desires. But in order for you to do that, you have to slow down. And so, you know, living in our society, we have been trained to work at the 9 to 5 or 8 to 7 or whatever your work hours are kind of perspective or life, where all your time from the time you get up until the time you go to bed is filled with doing something or another. And when you're in that mindset of doing all the time, you don't have this mental space that allows the voices or the intuition. Is that your feet? No. The intuition to come into your brain so that you can hear the messages of your inner being that will lead you down the promised land.
So I worked a psychic fair yesterday.
Yes, you did.
And was very busy. I actually had lots of customers, almost back to back from the jump. Thank you.
Yep.
And I don't remember the readings afterwards, but like there's certain things that I remember that were like repetitive through most of the readings, and one of them was you have to slow down and listen so that you can hear that higher self, so you can hear your intuition. We are running so fast and so often, and our brains are pumping, and we allow our human brain, as I call it, right, to get in the way, and will talk over or talk us out of that spirit brain connection. And it's just funny, again, how things always
it's all weaving together.
We right back together.
So here's the thing, folks. Who, when, and how. These three questions, I love what you called it. Your human brain cannot answer these questions. Who is your ideal partner? Like, who is the person? The actual individual. Who is that person? When are you going to meet that person? What are the circumstances? When in time? When in your movement through the day? How are you going to meet that person? Is it going to be on the bus? Is it going to be on the sidewalk? Is it going to be in your workplace? Is it going to be turning a corner? None of these questions can your human brain answer, but your inner being knows the answer to all those questions. But notice, when you start thinking about the who, the when, and the how, when you start trying to think about that relative to finding a partner or any other wish that you have, you automatically start feeling negative emotion. You either start feeling frustration, or impatience, or anxiety, or fear.
Even anger.
Anger
it's not
could be
happening
that's
as
exactly
fast
right.
the way you want, or the way you
Impatience,
thought.
Yep. Impatience, powerlessness, disempowerment. These are the kind of emotions that occur when you're trying to answer these three questions, because your brain can't answer those questions. Oh, that's something else. Yeah, your brain can't answer those questions, but your inner being, who has a bird's eye view of everything that you're wanting and where everything is and through whom you will get the things you're wanting and when you can rendezvous with those people, your inner being knows all of that. And if you slow down and train yourself to hear the impulses of your inner being talking to you, giving you clues. Now, it's not going to say, be at the 7-Eleven at 8 o'clock and your ideal partner is going to show up. It's not going to be like that. Nothing so direct. It's going to be like, go to 7-Eleven, or go get gas in your car, or go down to the mall and look at those jeans that you really like to look at. Don't buy them, though. I'm just kidding. It won't say that. So it
might.
It will never say don't. It'll say something like that.
But it'll give you the feeling that it's not the time to buy.
Correct. And so by tuning into your inner being, you're able to hear the impulses of the only part of you that knows where the answer to those three questions, the answers to those three questions are. And if you're doing what Remy was talking about a minute ago, running through your day in doing mode, your brain is not leaving any room for you to hear the messages that are going to give you the joy that you want. Now listen.
Well, you're still thinking about what you just did and what you need to do next.
That's exactly right, Remy. That's exactly right.
There's no quiet moment.
Yep.
Which brings me to the question, who did their homework last week?
Oh, snap. Probably no one.
I think Devin said something about it. She mentioned it, but let's see what she says. Go ahead.
So yeah, Remy's right. So you're thinking about, what did you just do? What are you going to do? Yeah.
Excuse me, one moment.
What did you just do? What are you going to do? And what you didn't do that you should have done. These are the kind of things that tie up your brain. And if you can just relax and slow down, your world will not fall apart if you don't get everything on your to-do list done today. The reality is you probably don't get everything done on your to-do list anyway every day. And so if only one thing gets done on your to-do list, the world is not going to fall apart. So
Devin said she did do her homework.
Good job, girl. Devin's on it. That's so awesome. What was our homework?
Oh.
What was the homework, Devin? Remind us, because I don't remember.
The homework was...
Oh, wait a minute.
To quiet your mind every day.
Oh.
And to build up that quiet time every day. Not meditate, but to just go silent.
Good job. So listen, if you had done your homework, that's really good. If you had done your homework, this conversation we're having right now would have so much relevance, because you would be able to see, you would have experienced in your life experience exactly what we're talking about. It wouldn't have been theoretical, it would have been actual for you. She says, mostly at the beginning, I could quiet my mind fully without slipping into meditation, which was
not the homework.
Not the homework, correct. So yeah, so you get doing the homework. So listen, you guys, people are currently paying us $150 an hour to get the information that you're getting for free. I'm just putting it on the table. And so obviously people are finding value in the material we're sharing, and you're getting it for free. So, and this material that we're sharing, these people that are paying for it are getting real results, exactly the results that we talk about on this show.
Right.
So if you do, and we're getting it too. And so if you do this homework, we promise you, if you follow what we're saying in these shows, we promise you that the results that we're talking about will begin to show up. And the more you practice it, the easier results show up. So slowing down is very important. You have to get off of the rat race that we're all conditioned upon.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, at first it seems a little weird because you're not moving in that flow that you're used to moving. You're getting back to the natural rhythm, and eventually that natural rhythm will be just as familiar as your current attachment to the social rhythm. And eventually, as you get back to that natural rhythm and get accustomed to it, you'll begin to hear, and calm your mind, you'll begin to hear your inner being, which is constantly trying to communicate to you to give you the impression of what you should do next. And what you should do next could be take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
It could be relax. It could be take some time off.
It could even be veg out on the couch for a little while.
That's exactly right.
My inner self tells me that at least for an hour a day.
Exactly.
Just veg out and do nothing.
Yeah. And so I don't know how much we need to beat this horse, but the point is that in slowing down, you find the most important relationship that you're looking for, even though you may not right now in your flesh and body believe this is the most important relationship. And that is the relationship between you and your inner being. Because that's the relationship through which everything else you want is going to come to you in speedy ways.
Right.
You'll see results immediately. Now, when I say immediately, that doesn't mean that your partner will show up immediately, although that could happen. What it means is that on your way to meeting that ideal partner, so many other things will reveal themselves to you that will delight you on the way to what you think is your final outcome, which is meeting this person.
And so many other things will come to you too. So many other of your wants and desires, and some of the things that you don't realize as a want and as that things that you don't know. Excuse me. Some things you don't know that you need will show up on the way as you're waiting for that big whatever it is.
That's exactly right.
You know.
Absolutely right. It's just It's a pleasure ride, you guys, when you're able to develop this relationship between you and you. Life does not have to include any disappointment. It can be a constant series of joyful moments. There's no hard and fast assertion that will convince me otherwise, because I have demonstrated it in my own life, mm-hmm. and you can too.
Yes.
Comments?
Yes, let's see. Kristen says, editorial comment. You both are really good at looking right into the camera. Sometimes I feel like you're looking right into my eyes.
Aw, thank you.
Devin continues, she was saying that it was a struggle doing the homework.
It is a struggle.
Mostly at the beginning, mm-hmm. I couldn't quiet my mind fully without slipping into meditation, which was not the homework. She says, I meditate in the morning and in the shower, and also sometimes when I pee. Mari says, I didn't get the homework assignment, but I did get some Reiki today.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I'm a Reiki master teacher, so that's awesome. Good for you. Then Devin says, but around Friday, I kind of got it. I'm still working on it.
Excellent, Devin.
That's awesome. And keep working on it. And have you been working on last week's homework as you're, right, trying to incorporate a little bit of each of them and keep them going?
Good job, Remy.
Where was I?
I think at the beginning there's some new comments.
Hold on. Kristen says, maybe that is why I have become a recluse when I'm not traveling to Nashville for work. Hadn't thought of that before. Mm-hmm. Mari says, what's our home assignment for this week?
Oh, interesting.
Give us a moment.
Yeah, give us a moment. We'll give that in a minute.
Mostly what I got out of the quiet time I did achieve was work on me. Work on finding ways to love me more.
Excellent.
Look the way I want to look.
Yes.
Cultivate style. Pamper myself. Pamper myself more, etc.
Beautiful.
Basically, my higher self wants me to have a Stella Goddard groove back moment.
Yep.
Excellent. Yes, I'm pretty good at going with my intuition since the homework. Good job, girl.
Very good job, Devin. And it sounds like you are. So here's the thing, you guys. You have to distinguish between your inner being and like your mother's voice that you've cultivated in your head. And
she's part of your human brain. Again, what I call the human brain. The human brain is, it's your mother's voice. It's every movie you've watched. It's your own voice. It's the old stories that you've created into what reality is. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to that spirit voice that has such a pure and genuine and direct and clear and positive message.
So everyone but
Another
Devin.
Clear thing is positive message.
Yep. Everyone but Devin. If you look at what Devin is writing, her inner being is saying, you'll notice that her inner being has Devin's best interest at heart, and the advice that her inner being is giving is exactly the kind of guidance you would expect from someone.
Absolutely, and it's giving you the guidance so that the two of you and your higher self, your spirit brain, can build a relationship and a stronger relationship. But it's also to make you a happier you, to make you a healthier you, to make you the person that you want to. It's telling you how to take care of you. It's telling you how to give yourself everything that you need.
And why is that important relative to finding a partner? Because when you are in the position that Remy has just described, where you've done all that work, you are a better match to the person that you're saying that you're wanting. Otherwise,
because now you're not looking for someone to do those things for you.
Correct.
Now you can both be full and complete human beings that aren't trying to fill gaps in each other's holes.
Correct.
But ride the ride together.
Yes.
Because, and I don't remember where we said it before, you can only travel down your own path, but we can travel arm in arm, hand in hand. I can't travel yours for you, and you can't travel mine. And we've all tried it before. We've tried to piggyback someone or been piggyback on someone else, or we've tried to be carried by someone.
Yep.
Obviously, it didn't work. Right? Because look where you are now. You're not with them.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So, take care of yourself.
So your homework we've almost gone an hour. So your homework for this week, and we've retained most of the viewers. Thank you so much for sticking in for so long. This was our longest show yet. Your homework for this week is the following, and I'm gonna write notes this time so I remember it for next week so that I can bring it up. Your homework is to wake up in the morning. The minute you wake up, like before you get up and relieve yourself, your bladder. Wake up and begin to appreciate everything that you can imagine, everything that you can perceive with your senses. So like when you're sitting in your bed and your comfort's over the top and your head's on the pillow and your body's sunk into the mattress and maybe you're next to a lover, maybe you're not. You want to start to verbally appreciate those things like this. Wow, I really love this comforter. I'm glad I bought it. It makes me feel so comfortable on these cold mornings. If, this is,
Just keep going.
I really love this mattress. It's so soft and it cuddles my body in this perfect way. I love the feel of it. I love the feel of this pillow on my head. I love the smell of my bedding. I love how my room and how it looks in the morning when the sun is coming through. I love that I can sit here and enjoy this moment by myself in my bed. I really appreciate this moment because I am pampering myself. I love being in my human body. I love how great my human body feels. I love doing this exercise because I'm feeling better just doing this exercise.
I love that I'm learning to love the human body that I'm in.
Yes.
Right? Because maybe you're not there yet.
Exactly.
But you're getting there.
That's right. That's exactly right. So be creative. Try to stretch the boundaries. You'll find, so you're doing this every day this week. Go ahead.
And if something comes out like, you're like, oh, I don't like my dad. I want a new bed. Find a way of saying that. Like, I'm so grateful that I have a bed.
Yes, exactly.
That to sleep in.
Yes.
Right? Maybe it's not your ideal bed. Maybe it's not comfortable, right? Because that's where my mind went. I was like, oh, God, I need a new bed. I hate my bed right now. But I'm glad that I have a bed. I'm glad that I have a place to live. I'm glad that I have a roof over my head.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly. And so do this every day this following week, and you'll notice a couple things might happen. One, by the end of the week, you'll be saying the same things over and over again. And if you're doing that, you're not being creative enough. So you need to think through how to be more creative with this exercise. The second thing that might happen is you may find yourself riding a wave of positivity farther into the day. So the first day, you might just get to the point where you're peeing in the bathroom or doing something in the bathroom, and then you'll revert back to your normal way of being. Maybe by the 5th day or the 6th day, you're making it all the way through lunch on a positive note. And so you want to make note of that. So if you can, in addition to doing this exercise, start a journal. If you don't have a journal, start a journal and start writing down your experiences. By writing your experiences, you will be reinforcing the results of the exercise, and you'll be on your way to building a strong relationship with your inner being.
Yes. Kristen says, dang, I already do both of these things. I am lucky enough to have a new cotton cloud futon, a new down comforter, new linen sheets. So I think finding more gratitude in what I was able to obtain would be good. Absolutely.
That's exactly right.
Tamar says, I'm glad I'm moving into a new place where I can have a bed.
Excellent.
Hello.
Excellent.
Devin says, I also have been seeing some hot men these past 2 weeks. Hey. That's right.
There you go.
Appreciate the moment.
Yep.
Mari says, my first thought would be, I love my teddy bear.
Perfect.
Me too, but mine's a monkey. All right, you guys. I think we're good.
Yeah. I want to go back and mention, I want to congratulate Tamar, because Tamar is being a little bit, self-deprecating in her statement here. Tamar has been working with us on one-on-ones, and recently she manifested the result of having a place of her own, which is allowing her to get much more freedom in her life and ease and relief from a certain living situation. And so I want to congratulate Tamar for the work that she's done in her personal life and her ability to follow the guidance that she's been receiving, and as a result of that, manifesting this fantastic outcome, which is finding her own place and getting ready to move in.
That's what's that.
So congratulations for doing that work.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yay me, she said. Yeah. Yay you indeed. All right, you guys, that's a great note to end the show.
Absolutely.
We'll see you guys next week. I'm going to write down the homework and we'll follow up on Monday.
Ciao.
Bye, everybody.